Hi students, welcome to Methodology classes. Today we are picking pair of linear equations in two variables. We will be discussing mainly the MCQs asked in the previous year questions in this session. From this chapter, we get around 4 to 6 marks questions, one MCQ and 1, 2 or 3 marks question. So in this session, we are mainly dealing with the MCQs asked in the previous year questions, and in the next session, we will be following the long answer type questions which are asked in the previous year questions. We will be discussing some questions which are important from the point of making your concepts clear also. The session is structured in a systematic manner, touching all the aspects of this chapter. The tricky questions which require multiple concepts are discussed in the end of the session. So be there throughout the video to enjoy the interesting questions in the last. So let's start. So the first question is, if x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2 is a solution of the pair of linear equations 2x minus 3y plus a is equal to 0 and 2x plus 3y minus b is equal to 0, then the options are given, and in the options there is a relationship given between a and b. So the question is asking what will be the relationship between a and b. So first of all, what is solution of a pair of linear equations? So the solution is the values of x and y or the values of the variables which satisfy these both equations. So it is said that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2 is a solution of these equations. It means the value of the left hand side and the right hand side of these equations will be equal at x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. So if I substitute x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2 in the first equation, so I will be getting 2 into 1 minus 3 into 2 plus a is equal to 0. That is 2 minus 6 plus a is equal to 0. So 2 minus 6 is minus 4 plus a is equal to 0. It means from here I get a is equal to 4. So the value of a we got is 4. Now if we do the same thing in the second equation, so I will be getting 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2 minus b is equal to 0. So that is 2 plus 6 minus b is equal to 0. So from here I will be getting b is equal to 8. So the value of a is 4 and the value of b is 8. So I can say from here that b, that is 8, is 2 times of a, that is 4. So the relationship between a and b is equal to 2a. So whether if we analyze, this is the option B. Now in marking the answers we have to be careful because b is equal to 2a is the answer and a is equal to 2b is also an option. So we have done all our hard work. So in MCQs sometimes the questions are very easy, but marking the answer we may make a mistake. So we have to be very careful during marking the question. In winning any war or anything, you require speed and accuracy both. So if speed is there, then accuracy should also be there. Otherwise, there is no benefit of that. Okay, so now moving to the next question. The value of k for which the system of equations has a unique solution. So we have to find out a value of k for which the system of equations has a unique solution. So we know in pair of linear equations, the condition for a unique solution is a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. Now what are a1 and a2? a1 and a2 are the coefficients of x and b1 and b2 are coefficients of y. So from here the coefficients of x are k and 6, so it will be k by 6 should not be equal to the coefficient of y is, we have to be careful here, we have to take with sign. So coefficient of y is minus 1 and coefficient of y is minus 2. So minus can be cancelled out. So from here we get that k upon 6 should not be equal to 1 by 2. And if we cross multiply, because 6 is positive, so we can cross multiply, k should not be equal to 6 by 2, that is 3. So k should not be equal to 3. So our option B. So this was a simple question. It was asked that what should be the value of k so that the pair of equations has a unique solution. And we applied the condition for the unique solution, that is a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2, where a1 and a2 are the coefficients of x and b1 and b2 are the coefficients of y. And remember, we took the coefficients of y with sign. So we have to always take the coefficients with sign. Now moving to the third question, the value of k for which the system of linear equations have infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions, so we know the condition for the infinitely many solution of pair of linear equations. It is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. All the ratios of the coefficients of x, y and z should be equal. So from this equation, if I write a1 and a2, 6 by 36 should be equal to 1 by 6 should be equal to 3k by 3. Now, whether you shift 3k and 3 on the left hand side or not, it doesn't matter. But we have to be cautious that both the constants should be on the right side or both should be on the left side. It should not be the case that one constant is on the left hand side and the other one is on the right side. In that case, we will get a mistake of the sign. So here both the constants were on the right hand side, so we didn't shift them on the left hand side. If you shift them, then also you will get the same thing. So here we can simplify 1, 6 and here 3 will cancel out. So we are getting k is equal to 1 by 6. So the value of k is 1 by 6. So at k is equal to 1 by 6, this system of equation will have infinitely many solutions. Now the question number 4 is also a similar type of the question number 3. So you can pause the video and just try by yourself if you have understood the question number 3, and if you haven't understood the question number 3, you can just go back and look at the solution once more. So I hope you would have tried. Now let's see. The condition will remain the same because in this question also it has been asked the value of p for which the equation is px plus 3y is equal to p minus 3 and 12x plus py is equal to p has infinitely many solutions. So we will be applying the same condition, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. So the coefficients of x in these two equations are p by 12 is equal to the coefficients of y, that is 3 by p, is equal to the constant terms, that is p minus 3 divided by p. So here don't confuse that p is also a variable. In most of the cases in our class 10th syllabus, mainly the variables will be x, y only, and in some cases it may be z, but mainly it will be x and y. And if you have any other thing like a, b, c, d and p, they will be treated as a constant. Okay, so now here if we take the first two equations, so we get p by 12 is equal to 3 by p, and if we cross multiply, we will get p square is equal to 36. Now p square is equal to 36, so the square of any number is 36, so it can be positive and negative both, plus minus 6. So from here only we should not jump to the conclusion that option C is the answer, because the first two options gives them either only minus 6 or only positive 6. So we have to check whether both are plus minus 6 both is valid for the second and third equation or not. So now taking the second and third equation, so if we take second and third equation, so that is 3 by p is equal to p minus 3 by p. So if we cross multiply, we will get 3p is equal to p square minus 3p. P will be multiplied to p, so p square, p will be multiplied to 3, that is 3p. So if we shift p on the right hand side, so p square minus 3p, and this 3p will also become minus, so same signs, it will be added. So minus 3p will be minus 6p is equal to 0. Now we can take p common, so p minus 6 is equal to 0. Now product of two terms is 0, so one of them should be 0. So either p is equal to 0 or p minus 6 is equal to 0. So p is equal to 0 or p is equal to 6. So here we saw that for making the ratios of second and third ratio equal, p should be either 0 or 6. But p cannot be 0 because if p will be 0, then 3 by p will not be defined. So only solution possible is p is equal to 6, and p is equal to minus 6 will not make the second and third ratios equal. So only solution will be p is equal to 6. So it was a similar question as the third one, but it was there was a little more calculation in this. I hope it would have been clear. Now moving to the fifth number question. So the fifth number question is, the equations 3x plus 2y is equal to 5 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 are consistent, inconsistent, cannot be found out, or none of these. So we have to tell whether they are consistent or not. So students, we know the equations, the pair of equations are said to be consistent if they have a solution. Solution means it can be unique or it can be infinitely many solutions. So if they have a solution, then they will be called consistent, and if they don't have any solution, then it will be called inconsistent. So we have to find out whether they have a solution or not. So if we check the coefficients of x, a1 by a2, so it will be 3 by 2. Coefficients of y, that is b1 by b2, so it is 2 by 3. And coefficients of constant terms, that is c1 by c2, they both are on the right hand side, so we don't need to worry. So 5 by 7. So from here we see that a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, because a1 by a2 is 3 by 2 and b1 by b2 is 2 by 3. So we can say a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. So we can say the system of equations or the pair of equations has a unique solution. So they have a solution, so we can say that the equations are consistent. So this was a simple question, just applying the condition for the equations to find out the solutions. Now moving to the sixth question, if the system of equation has no solution, then k is equal to. So the system of equation has no solution. So the condition for no solution of a pair of linear equation is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is not equal to c1 by c2. So if we write these values from the pair of equations, we can say k by 6 should be equal to minus 5 by 2, taking with signs. So the coefficient of y in the first equation is minus 5 and the coefficient of y in the second equation is 2. So k by 6 is equal to minus 5 by 2, and this should not be equal to 2 by 7. Okay. So we can see here that minus 5 by 2 is not equal to 2 by 7. So I have to just make k by 6 equal to minus 5 by 2. So taking the first two equations, k by 6 is equal to minus 5 by 2. So we can cross multiply, 6 will go in the top. So k will be equal to minus 5 times 6 divided by 2. So we can cancel 2, 3. So that is equal to minus 50. So the value of k should be equal to minus 50. So the answer is D. So if we go through this question once, so if the system of equations has no solution, then what we did, we applied the condition for no solution, that is A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 is not equal to C1 by C2. We put the values of A1, B1, C1 and A2, B2, C2 from the equations. So that came out k by 6 is equal to minus 5 by 2 and this should not be equal to 2 by 7. So we saw that minus 5 by 2 is already not equal to 2 by 7. So we took the first two equations to make them equal. So k by 6 is equal to minus 5 by 2. We cross multiplied. 6 went to the numerator and it became minus 5 into 6 divided by 2. So we cancelled 6 by 2, 3. So the value of k came out to be minus 50. Now, coming to the question number 7. The solution of the pair of linear equations x plus y is equal to 14 and x minus y is equal to 4 is given by. So we know there are two ways to solve this type of questions. Mainly there are three ways, but CBSE has removed the cross multiplication method. So either we can use the elimination method or the substitution method to solve this question. So it is x plus y is equal to 14 and x minus y is equal to 4. So it is visible that the coefficients of y is equal and of opposite sign in both the equations. So we can add both the equations. So this will cancel out and 2x will be equal to 18. So x will be equal to 9. So x will be equal to 9 and we see that x plus y is equal to 14. So y should be 5. So x is equal to 9, y is equal to 5. So option B. Again, we have to be very careful because option A is also x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 9. The values are same but in reverse order. So we have to be very careful in marking the answers or marking our bubbles because all our hard work done will be gone if we don't color the right bubble. Moving to the question number 8. If the system of equations 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 and 2ax plus a plus by is equal to 28 represents coincident lines. Coincident lines means both the lines are on top of each other. It means that the system of equations has infinitely many solutions. So infinitely many solutions, we know the condition of the coefficients of x, y and the constant term. For the infinitely many solution, it is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. All the ratios should be equal. So if you write a1 by a2, that is the ratio of the coefficients of x, it is 2 by 2a, should be equal to b1 by b2, that is the coefficients of y, that is 3 by a plus b, is equal to the constant term 7 by 28. So if we simplify the constant terms, it is 1 by 4. So, and we can cancel out 2 from the first ratio. So from here we can see that 1 by a, if I take the first and the third ratio, 1 by a is equal to 1 by 4. So the numerators are equal and the fractions are equal. So I can say that a should be equal to 4. Now a should be equal to 4 and 3 by a plus b. If I take the second and third ratio, 3 by a plus b should be equal to 1 by 4 and we know that a is 4. So from here we can infer that 4 plus b should be 4 times of 3. So 4 times of 3 is 12. It means 4 plus b should be equal to 12. So b should be 8. So we got a is equal to 4 and b is equal to 8. It means b is twice of a. So b is equal to 2a. Now is the time for the interesting question, question number 9, which I told you in the beginning. For question number 9 is the value of k for which the system of equations 3x plus 5y is equal to 0 and kx plus 10y is equal to 0 has a non-zero solution. So we have to find out the value of k for which this pair of linear equation will have a non-zero solution. As we can see here, both the equations have the constant term 0. Both the equations have constant term 0. It means in any linear equation, if the constant term is 0, so those lines will pass through the origin. What we mean by constant term 0 is the general form of a linear equation is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So this is a constant term. So if the form of a linear equation is ax plus by is equal to 0, then in that case that line will pass through the origin. So in both these equations, both the lines are passing through the origin. It means one solution of this pair of linear equation is 0, 0. But we don't have to tell that. In that case, the value of k doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the line will always pass through origin. So both the equations are consistent with a unique solution 0, 0 always. But they are asking what should be the value of k for which this pair of linear equation will have a non-zero solution. So I have to find out the condition for k, in which case it will have a non-zero solution. So if we visualize it graphically, then it will be more convenient to understand that what should be the value of k for a non-zero solution. Okay, so here is a Cartesian plane. Now let's try to visualize the equations graphically. So the first equation was 3x plus 5y is equal to 0. So this is the red line which represents 3x plus 5y is equal to 0. As we can see, this is passing through 0, 0. Now the second equation was kx plus 10y is equal to 0. Now we can see here there is a constant k, so the software is not able to draw the line. Now if we change the values, I made k 1, so the blue line and red line are again passing through the origin. Now if we make it 2, then it is changing, but again both are passing through only 0. Now if we make it 3, again 4, then again they are passing through the origin. 5, then they are closing, getting nearby. 6, then where is the red line? So if we see, they both coincided. If I clicking on the red line is becoming visible, and if I am clicking on the blue line is becoming visible, but they are overlapping each other. Now if I change 6 to 7, then they will be separate. So as we can see, when k is 6, the lines are overlapping. It means all the points which are there on these two lines are solution of both of these equations. So there are infinitely many solutions, and one out of that is 0, 0. Now as we have visualized it graphically that these two lines are always passing through origin, so 0, 0 is always a solution whatever is the value of k. But the question is asking for a non-zero solution. So two lines can either intersect at one point or they can be coincident. These are the only two situations because they will always have a solution 0, 0. So these two lines should be coincident to have a non-zero solution. And we know the condition for coincident lines is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. As in this case, c1 and c2 are 0, 0, so that doesn't make any sense. So I have to make these two ratios equal. So 3 by k should be equal to 5 by 10. So if we cross multiply, so we get 5k is equal to 10 times 3, that is 30. So k should be equal to 6. So algebraically we can find out in this way, and graphically we already have seen. So this was the interesting question where we need to visualize, and visualization is a very important thing in case of geometry and mathematics. If we can visualize, then without doing anything we can get the answer. So this was all for the MCQs from the pair of linear equations. In the next session we will be taking long answer type questions of 2 or 3 marks which can come in the board examination from this chapter, pair of linear equations in 2 variables. So please subscribe to get the new updates and score good in the board examinations. Thank you.